I talk to the furniture now, not like a joke, not like a child, just like someone who doesn't want to feel so alone. It started with the armchair, the one by the window. I'd pass by it in the morning and say, "Well, you're still here." And in the silence of that little exchange, I felt a kind of comfort. There's a certain stillness in a room that's been lived in for decades. The clock ticks like a heartbeat. The carpet remembers your steps. Even the sunlight seems to know where to land. And when the house goes quiet, after the kids have grown, after the dog is gone, after the spouse, well, you find yourself talking to what's left. The chair by the window. The chair isn't empty, not to me. It holds stories and sighs. It has a dent where he used to sit, legs crossed, book in hand. He always tilted the lamp just so, never straight, like the page would read better in a slant of light. There's still a bookmark in the one he never finished, tucked between pages, like a breath held too long. Sometimes I still glance at it, expecting a page to turn, or the rustle of him shifting, or a clearing of the throat before reading aloud a line that struck him funny. It doesn't come, of course, but the silence where he used to be, it's not empty either. It's full of everything we said without words, the quiet love of sharing space. Now, I greet that chair each morning, not because I expect an answer, but because some things are worth acknowledging, even if they no longer speak. The kitchen table. I apologize to the kitchen table now for all the meals I let go cold, distracted, dismissive, too busy to sit down. For the arguments we had with forks still in hand, saying things we didn't really mean because dinner was always the safest battlefield. I apologize for the birthdays where the cake was rushed and the candles barely lit before someone made a joke to hide the emotion. For the empty seats I pretended not to notice. For the meals eaten in silence because we didn't know how to bridge the years between us. I used to treat the table like a task, a thing to clear, a surface to wipe, something to clean up after. But I see now, the table was always patient. It held our messes without complaint. It bore our elbows, our grief, our celebration, our fatigue. Time catches up eventually, and when it does, you find yourself lingering at the edge of that old wooden table, running your fingers over every scratch and spill, like they were love letters, written in a language you never fully understood. And somehow, the table forgives you. It just keeps holding space. The bedroom mirror. The mirror is gentler with me these days. It no longer startles, no longer compares. It simply reflects. It shows the lines I used to hide with makeup, now worn like rivers that shaped a landscape. My face has become a map of everywhere I've been. Each crease, a conversation, a worry, a laugh that lasted too long. There was a time I only looked quickly, just enough to make sure I was presentable. Now I linger, not out of vanity, but out of curiosity. Who is she today? What has softened? What remains? Sometimes I smile at my reflection, as if to say, "We made it, didn't we?" And other times, I just nod. A quiet thank you for showing up every morning, even when everything felt too heavy to face. Mirrors can be cruel in youth, but with time, they learn how to listen. The sofa with the missing button. The old sofa sags on one side. That's where my granddaughter bounces when she visits. She calls it the squishy throne. It's where we eat too many cookies and read the same book 6 times in a row. That button, the one that popped off in '98 during a particularly spirited game of charades, I never fixed it. At first, it was laziness. Then, it became something else. A kind of charm, a small rebellion against perfection, proof that a home is for living in, not displaying. That missing button has outlasted houseplants, wallpaper trends, even the landline phone we once thought we couldn't live without. The sofa has cradled every version of our family. Late-night confessions, afternoon naps, teenagers half listening to advice they'll remember someday. And now, it holds me. A little slower to sit, a little slower to rise, but still, it holds, imperfect, and therefore beloved. There was a day I truly thought I was going mad. I had just hung my coat and, without thinking, I whispered to the coat rack, "You've held so many goodbyes." Not poetic, not planned, just something my mouth said before my mind could catch it. And then I laughed, one of those bitter, barked laughs that feels like a cracked plate. What kind of person does that? Talks to objects like they're old friends, like they've seen things, and might even understand. But then it hit me, slow but sure. Talking to the furniture wasn't madness. It was memory. It was grief wearing comfortable shoes. It was survival, stitched into the seams of daily life. I wasn't unraveling. I was remembering, reaching out to the things that had stood still while everything else had changed. We don't just leave pieces of ourselves in people. We leave them in places, in rooms, in chipped cups, in lampshades and dresser drawers. And yes, even in coat racks. So, no, I'm not crazy. I'm just learning a new kind of listening. Not with my ears alone, but with my memory, my skin, my heart. I listen to the way the floor creaks when the rain comes, like the house itself is settling into a quiet mood. I listen to the way the air shifts when a memory walks by, as if it still carries the shape of someone I loved. I listen to the echo of laughter that lingers in doorways long after the guests are gone. And the furniture, it listens back, not with words, but with presence. It doesn't judge. It holds. It waits. And sometimes that's all we need. To be held, to be witnessed, to be remembered, not just by people, but by the spaces that knew us best, by the things that stayed when so much else did not. I talk to the furniture now, because silence has shape, and memory has weight, and love. Love doesn't always need a voice to be heard. So, if you ever find yourself thanking the teapot, or apologizing to the stairs, or sitting with a chair that once held someone you miss, just know, you are not strange. You are just someone who remembers how full a room can feel when the heart is wide open. And may that never leave you.